Well, good Thursday evening, everyone. Todd Warren here on Facebook Live tonight with tonight's live update. Also, this will be on the KTAL Now app as probably around 9 o'clock. I'll try posting those before 9 each night. And you may want to download the KTAL Now app on your smart TV, that being Roku or Fire TV or Fire Stick or Apple TV, because we will be providing pretty much continuous coverage over the weekend on the app regarding the winter storm which is coming in. Coming up tonight, I'm going to be talking about basically conditions across the Arklatex that will be going south starting tomorrow evening over the northern sections of the area. But in Shreveport, probably early Saturday morning and maybe as late as late Saturday afternoon over the southern sections of the area. Timing has been pushed back and the ending has also been pushed back. So we're kind of sliding things as far as the time frame that this disturbance will impact our area. I'll show you the details with the various models and some decent model agreement too. The evening run of the ACRRR is in, and it is very much in line with what I've been showing you from Futurecast and the model blend. And of course, I'll have the latest on amounts, and also I'll share with you one little beam of glimmer of hope, something you should hope for, there's a small chance we could see. So stay tuned for that. If you have a question or a comment, feel free to ask away. If you just want to say hello, Todd, that's great too. We always like to start things off by seeing who's here. And first on board tonight, as usual, is Brian. Gary, greetings. Lewis, good evening to you. JP, hello. Bonnie, hello. Hello there, Flo. Rusty, good evening. Christian, not here, Christian. Depends on where you're at. I don't see it starting way early in the day Friday in Shreveport. It's going to be probably Saturday morning. Let's see. Amanda, hello. Leah, I should say. I need to give you... I've been giving you reasons all week, Leah. Nothing's really changed. It is going to be icy on Saturday, and if you're in Texarkana, the ACRRR has an inch of ice on you just on Saturday. So I'm not saying that's going to happen, but some of the models do show that possibility in spots. You're not going to ask about the wind tonight? Oh, okay. Thanks, Donnell. That hasn't changed either. It will be a bit of a concern once the icing starts, basically over the northern sections of the area. Again, 10 to 15 tomorrow, and the same thing for Sunday. Probably Sunday is when we get that ice on the trees that it will aggravate things, so to speak. Keep those fingers crossed tight, Amanda. Rhonda in Texarkana, hello. Ash in Texarkana, greetings. And Leah in Texarkana, hello again. Betty, hello, up there in Union County, Arkansas. And Kristen, hello. All right, I'll say hello to everybody else. I got to get going. And you can see the headlines here with this winter storm. As I mentioned, the start and the end times have been pushed back slightly. That has been a trend here for the past couple of days. But we have pretty good agreement in the latest runs and the models I'm going to show you about the possible start time. Late tomorrow north, middle part Saturday morning, and south part Saturday afternoon. Again, it does still appear likely that ice will be our main concern with this winter storm. Travel becomes very hazardous, as you might expect, as temperatures, once we drop below freezing, we will stay there. Through Sunday, Sunday night, and most of Monday. We won't see much improvement Monday, and then Tuesday we'll try to get things on the road back to recovery and back to normal. Again, significant icing will be possible. Now, the blended model numbers have come down somewhat, but I have a feeling that is due to the fact that the GFS is mainly sleet, and that's that glimmer of hope that I mentioned. And I'm going to show you the numbers from 6 different models here coming up, the actual accumulation numbers. And again, I think that has probably lowered the model blend numbers somewhat. I still think a half an inch is a reasonable expectation anywhere in the Arklatex for the most part. And again, with power outages, we start to get the scattered outages at a quarter of an inch. They become more widespread at a half an inch. And when we get up to that inch, they're very widespread and they tend to be long lasting. And that is within the realm of possibility, as you'll see here in a second. Here's the setup. We have this upper level low, which is off the coast of Southern California. This is going to track towards the east. We have cold air, which is going to be coming down out of the north into the Arctic here. And that combination is the perfect setup. Now, the reason for the freezing rain is with this southwesterly flow as that upper low digs towards us, we're going to create a layer of warm air that's going to melt the snow, and it won't have time to refreeze before it hits the ground because the cold air near the surface is not thick enough. So our only hope is that that air mass gets thick enough. And as I mentioned, the majority of the models showing that is not going to be the case, although there is hope. Let's take a look at how this will play out at the surface. And you can see the area of low pressure, which is eventually going to track across the northern Gulf here. And we will see probably the heaviest of the freezing precipitation Saturday north, and then Saturday night we'll see another pretty good round area wide, and you can see that Saturday night round coming through. And at the tail end of this event, we might see a little bit of sleet and or snow, but it doesn't look like much, and I'll show you the latest numbers on Futurecast from that. And this is going to produce a swath of very heavy snows from northern Arkansas on up into the northeastern sections of the country as it impacts that area. You might recall last night, Sarah, I think it was last night, Sarah up in Brooklyn, I showed her snow. Model Blend had 18 inches, I think, on New York City. So it's going to be pretty nasty there in the northeast as well, and very cold. And of course, with this high digging southward and settling very close to us late Monday, that's going to set the stage with the clouds departing, a clear sky Monday night for temperatures to dip well into the teens Sunday night and Monday night. And we actually may clear out Sunday night. All right, let's get to the details. And before I talk models here, let's see who else has chimed in here. Crystal, you're welcome. Hello. Richard in Hugh Springs, greetings. Let's see. Aaron, Wright City, hello. Ashley, it depends on where you are. I'm going to answer that question right about now, Ashley, when I get into the models. And I've already covered it a little bit. It's mainly going to be freezing rain. There will be some sleet mixed in. It depends on which model you believe. And I'll show you the blend and a couple of them to explain why I think what I'm thinking. Yes, Friday evening for you, Aaron, up there in McCurtain County. Janie, that's true. We won't have to worry about the love bugs this summer as we did back in 2017. That was a horrible. I'll do my best, Aaron. I can't make any promises. I don't recall the 1994 storm, Richard. This, if you want to compare it, could be compared to the Christmas of 2000. That is, we had an inch accumulation there up north in southwest Arkansas especially. Stephen, it is a possibility. Not all models are on board yet. Snow and perhaps even a little bit of ice possible then. But again, it doesn't look like too big of a deal at this point. It will end Sunday, Lindsay. Mitch and Gil, the yellow and red on the radar is freezing rain model as heavy rain. I'll explain that here in a second. And Veronica in Columbia, Louisiana, hello. And everyone else, hello. I could sit here all night saying hello, everybody. Looks like we have a pretty good crowd as expected. Tanner, yes, it is going to stick everywhere. All right, here's a look at the ACRRR model. This is just come in. So this is the newest, actually the first of the high-res models, minus Futurecast to go out far enough to see this. And you can see here we are Friday evening, 6 p.m. Areas north of Interstate 30, you can see bright early evening tomorrow evening, we'll see that change over to the freezing rain. And the ACRRR has it all freezing rain. And by the time we get to 6 a.m., we'll see that freezing line very close to Interstate 20. That's very similar to the previous runs that I showed you in my article earlier today and what the model blend has been showing here recently. And you can see heading into Saturday afternoon, we may stay all rain during the day Saturday, Manny and Natchitoches. However, other models do still show a changeover Saturday evening if we have the precipitation around. So that's how Saturday could play out. Again, one model, the ARRR, mainly showing freezing rain and rain, not really much as far as sleet. Here is Futurecast underneath the temperatures from the model blend. And so I'm going to show you two different models here, and you can kind of compare the timing of things and the colors. And again, greens here represent rain, pinks represent mix, but Futurecast doesn't discern between, there aren't colors for sleet or freezing rain, unfortunately, with Futurecast. It's all the others but snow. Snow is blue. All right, so you can see that as we move into, notice how that matches with what I just showed you with the ARRR, things going downhill early Friday evening, Interstate 30 and points north. As we slide into Friday night, that freezing line, here we are 6 a.m., very close to Interstate 20. That's two high-res models showing pretty much the same thing. Futurecast does show a pretty good swath of rain moving through during the day. It also cools us down to freezing late Saturday afternoon down towards Manny and Natchitoches. So start time, Friday evening north, middle part of the area near I-20, early Saturday morning, probably sometime mid to late Saturday afternoon down towards Toledo Bend. So that's the timing of the onset, and it does look like it's going to be mainly freezing rain. And as we move into and through Saturday night, again, mainly freezing rain. Now, towards the tail end of this, the air mass does look like it's going to start getting thicker. So we could start to see some sleet mixed in late Saturday night into Sunday morning as all this begins to wrap up. And a little bit of snow. You can see the blues here will be possible over especially the northern parts of the Arklatex. One thing I haven't really touched on is if you watch the temperatures, once we get into the 20s, we stay there. Here we are Sunday morning, mainly in the low to middle 20s. We'll probably stay pretty steady temperature-wise during the day on Sunday. All of this ends at some point Sunday morning, maybe as late as Sunday afternoon, and then we're pretty much done. Here we are. Futurecast does show a few flurries maybe popping up over the northeast half of the area late Sunday afternoon. As again, temperatures to close the day Sunday will be in the low to middle 20s, and we will drop into the teens for nighttime lows Sunday night. All right, as far as the possibilities of ice accumulation, I'll show you the glimmer of hope. Notice the GFS has nothing in DeQueen, really nothing in Texarkana, and nothing in Shreveport. That's because it is showing all sleet. Notice what all the other models are showing a decent amount of rain. So I'm going to show you the model blend map here in a second. But notice the number of these that have the potential for that closing in on an inch of accumulation pretty much anywhere across the area. I think there is a good chance that we will see somewhere in the Arklatex somebody get ice accumulations of at least an inch. And of course, I already described what happens to power at these various levels. That means we probably somewhere we will see some concentrated power outages where the ice gets thickest. And the wind could complicate. Donnell's been asking about that the last couple of nights. It's not going to be as gusty as we see after a big cold front comes through where we get the gusts at 30 miles per hour. But we could have some gusts in excess of 20 both Saturday and Sunday. So that could aggravate things just a little bit. So again, that's model to model. Let's show you the model blend, and this has been fairly consistent here all week, showing right around a half an inch. At times it was as high as 3/4 of an inch. And again, I think these numbers are a little bit lower than what you saw last night because of the GFS, which is just explained. I still expect a half an inch at least over most of the area. And if you don't get a half an inch, you're probably going to get at least a third. So that's enough to cause some power issues pretty much anywhere across the area. Now, as far as a look at the worst case scenario, again, the model blend kicks out the most likely, and then there's probabilities of getting a certain amount. And so I looked up the highest amounts, the worst case scenario. So the red numbers here, basically there's a 10% chance of getting that much ice accumulation at the location that you're looking at. So there's still that chance. And that is notice that some of these are over 1.5 inches. Imagine what that percentage is for an inch. it's probably 20-30%. So you're getting a little bit higher there. So again, the potential is there for some significant ice accumulations. I have preparations made. We have alternative heat sources in case stuff for the fireplace. I have a portable stove that I can use inside. So kind of think of how you're going to stay warm if you lose power for a day or two. That's something to really consider. Right now, especially northern parts of the area, you can see how these red numbers are bigger over the north and northeastern, especially this area here near the Arkansas-Louisiana line in southwest Arkansas, north central Louisiana. Other precipitation types. Again, here's evidence why it's mainly going to be freezing rain. Futurecast shows amounts, really nothing over the southeast. A little bit of sleet possible here over the northwest half of the area, but notice the low numbers. Doesn't look like a whole lot of accumulation of the sleet. And on the snow front, for you snow fans out there, I think we will see some flurries at the tail end of this. And you might get that inch of snow over the extreme northern, probably north of you, Aaron, there in McCurtain County, up towards Batiste and Smithville. But rest of the Arklatex, negligible on the amount of snow that we get. I really don't expect to see much at all, the way things look right now. And again, models have been, most of them have been very consistent here in showing mainly freezing rain and such. So all that being put together, I'm going to keep my level of worry at 8 out of 10. Again, this could be similar to the ice storm of 2000. We could have widespread power outages, and because of that, it is reason to worry and get prepared. Again, bottom line is very important. Don't travel if you don't have to. Believe me, you do not want to. When you're talking about ice on untreated roads, it is impossible and extremely frightening if you ever try to do it. It's amazing how quickly your tail end can spin out in front of your front end when you hit a patch of ice. All right, so let me go through and see anything else, any questions here. Yeah, I agree on that. I just don't want to do that either, Veronica. Let's see. That's true, Janie. I often say, people ask me about the ice storm, and I say, we're really due. It's a quarter century, so we are due. Now, hopefully the GFS is right and all the other models are wrong, and we get sleet. That would be the best case scenario with this event, but again, that's highly unlikely that's going to happen. Let's see if we got any other questions. Ash, I don't know where you are. So if you're in Shreveport, it's going to start going downhill during the morning Saturday. Again, that's obviously Friday evening further to the north. Let's see here. It is best to be prepared. Always be prepared, because why didn't I do that when, I always try to think what could go wrong and then try to think of a way to fix it before I need to fix it, if you know what I mean. Exactly, Gail. And it's been a while since most of us have seen any. Let's see. Ash in Texarkana, again, Friday evening is when it goes downhill. It's going to be rough in Texarkana Saturday. So if you need some witness to say, go ahead and close the business, I wouldn't want any of my employees to go. That's just my point of view anyway. Dylan Mansfield, again, you're going to be a little bit later, probably later in the morning Saturday, maybe even close to noon. 9 to noon, maybe the time frame when things go downhill for you. But you're still looking at pretty much the same thing as far as accumulations. I would expect even there a good half an inch. It could be more. Amanda, back then there were reports of an inch or more up in southwest Arkansas. Not much in Shreveport, ironically. There was a very line where we went from nothing to a lot there, basically over the northwestern half of the area. Sonia, Red River County, again, you're probably same height as Texarkana, so Friday evening is when it goes downhill for you as well. And you're probably looking at the same, at least a half an inch, I would say, and it could be more. Again, an inch is not out of the question of ice accumulations. Christy, I think the odds are, given the look at temperatures, that we're going to see. This is a good segue to move into what is coming afterwards. And this is the concern here. We say we get, I seem to remember that there were a couple 100,000 people without power back in 2000. Say we have that happen again. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Just say that it does. You can see how that could be, the impacts we could see from that. Notice this is the European ensembles, and the European running much warmer than the GFS ensembles. You can see it basically shows above freezing temperatures Sunday, which is probably too warm. 19 Monday. And again, this is probably a bit too warm. You can see the warm up middle of the week. And notice the cool down Thursday, Friday. There is another chance for a little bit of rain and or snow, perhaps something mixed Thursday night into Friday. Although, as I mentioned earlier, not all models are on board. And we finally get back to normal by the time we get into the first week of February. So it's going to be a good couple of weeks of this as far as the cold is concerned. And the GFS ensemble is much colder, 5 in Shreveport Monday morning. I think that is too cold. I think 14. So you can see that we're not going to get, if this is correct, we're not going to get very much above freezing even Tuesday and Wednesday. I actually have 50, I think, for the high on Tuesday and Wednesday. That's what the majority of the models are showing. And you can see the agreement there as we enter February on what we could be looking at. All right, it's getting late, so let's get to the forecast here and a summary. As tonight, a little bit of rain possible late tonight, as temperatures will not cool down very much from where we are right now, probably into the 40s. We actually could still be in the upper 40s as you wake up tomorrow morning in Shreveport, and then cool back into the a couple of degrees during the day. You can see highs tomorrow, basically mid-upper 40s south, upper 30s, low 40s north. And again, here is the my forecast for the next 10 days. Again, mainly freezing rain for most of the area Saturday, a little bit later over the south Saturday afternoon. And then we could see a little bit of sleet and or a few flakes of snow mixed in as things wrap up, probably sometime Sunday morning, maybe as late as Sunday afternoon. Temperatures all day Saturday. Once we get into the 20s, we stay there. We stay in the 20s Saturday night and stay in the 20s Sunday. Teens on the way for Sunday night and Monday night. And you can see temperatures flirting with 50 by Wednesday. And there's that 20% chance of rain as we go into Friday of next week. Notice the low Friday morning, 26. So, yes, winter precip will be on the a possibility then. So that's pretty much it. So again, that is pretty much my time for tonight. Thanks for all the questions. Appreciate you tuning in. And again, be sure to download the KTAL Now app, as I will be jumping. I plan on jumping on here, and we'll be doing updates within the app throughout. Josh and I will be here doing updates throughout the day on the conditions that are developing across the Arcaltex, and you can watch it on the big screen, at least the big screen TV, that is, on your streaming device there. So again, thanks for tuning in tonight. I'll talk to you again tomorrow night at the usual time at 8:30. Until then, get outside and enjoy the dry weather while you can, and try to stay warm. Good night.